Hello, my name is Carla Rodriguez, and this is my final project in which I will focus on photography. Paul Reifer is a British commercial and landscape photographer. He was born on May 12, 1980 in Dorset, England. Although he has been a commercial photographer for many years, Paul is also a well-known landscape and cityscape photographer who has captured some of the world's most beautiful travel destinations through his iconic fine art photography. Reifer's passion for photography arose when he was just 5 years old, watching his father develop black and white images. Since then, he does not remember a time when he did not have a camera in his hands. In 2015, Reifer started a campaign to educate customers and viewers on the difference between taking it and faking it, called How Far is Too Far, in order to denounce photographers who use too many computer-aided tools to enhance their images beyond reality. Since 2015, he has been publishing images with the caption, "What I See Right Now," in order to demonstrate that his images represent the views he is capturing at that precise moment. Paul Reifer has won several awards from all over the world thanks to his unique style. He received 4 individual awards in the Epson Pana Awards in 2014 and 6 in 2015. His most important award was the Fellowship of the British Institute of Professional Photography, given to him in 2015. He was also presented with the UNESCO International Year of Light Award for his work capturing Shanghai at night. As a commercial photographer, Paul Reifer has worked with clients such as Royal Caribbean, Hyatt, Shangri-La, Ford, Pineapple Dance Studios, and many more, including shots of luxury resorts, corporate imagery for key events, and content for a brand launch. As a landscape and cityscape photographer, he captures the world's most beautiful and stunning travel destinations through his iconic fine art photography. My final work was based on one of Reifer's landscape photographs called Pulpit Rock Sunset. Pulpit Rock is in Portland, Dorset, England, and is part of England's Jurassic coastline. The picture shows the waves crashing over the Pulpit Rock as the sky gives us the last rays of light, and the sun hides behind the ocean. This picture has a special meaning for Paul because Pulpit Rock is one of his favorite places in the world and is only 2 minutes away from his home in England. I decided to base my work on this piece of art because sunsets are my favorite part of the day. I love to just sit and watch the sun going down into the ocean, making the sky turn different colors in a matter of minutes. I also decided to base my work on this piece of art because I love nature and this picture depicts the beauty of it with golden yellows reflecting off the rock and soft pinks on the high clouds. The social angle of this artwork is nature, which is also one of the reasons why I decided to use it. The first step of my project was to select the location from where I was going to take my picture. Since the beginning of the project, my idea was to take the picture from Seixo Branco, one of my favorite places in the world, which is only a few minutes away from my house in Galicia, Spain. Seixo Branco is a hiking route that is a perfect example of the characteristics of the northern Spanish coastline, known for its long and high cliffs. This natural area was declared a natural monument in 2000 and is recognized as the Special Protection Zone for Natural Wealth. I hiked to this place several days before I began to take pictures in order to find out the time that the sun was setting, which was approximately between 9:30 p.m. and 10:10 p.m., and to familiarize myself with the spots where I could take the pictures from. The second step was to find the right spot to take the picture from, along the hiking route of the Seixo Branco. There were too many spots from which I could take a good picture, so I tried several of them to see if the lighting and background were appropriate, and also to see which one of them was the most similar to the Pulpit Rock sunset picture. Once I selected the right spot to take the picture from, the third step was to find the perfect angle. I needed to have good lighting in order for the picture to have that orange-pink color that the sunset produces. I also needed a rock or a cliff to be the focus of the picture, with waves crashing against it. I took several shots from the same position in order to capture different movements of the water and different reflections of the sunlight on the rocks. The fourth step was to choose the final picture and edit it. Once I selected the final picture, I used the image manipulation program called GIMP in order to edit the picture slightly. Following Reifer's philosophy of using minimal amounts of computer-aided tools to edit images, the only thing that I did to this picture was to adjust the color levels automatically. This proves his theory that the way to get the best photos from a digital camera is to do it right from the start. Good photography has always been about understanding the tools of the craft and using them well, and about perception and the ability to capture an image that catches an audience's attention and communicates well. two pictures side by side, we can see the similarities between both of them. They both depict a sunset from a breathtaking natural setting in which the light of the sunset transforms the color of the sky into an orange color, and it seems as if the sky is about to catch fire. The pictures also depict the waves crashing against the rocks. In Reifer's picture, the light of the sunset reflects on the rocks because the sunset is taking place at the right side of the image. However, in my picture, the sunset is taking place in the middle of the image, and the light of the sun does not reflect on the rock, which is why it is dark. Both pictures have similarities in the techniques used, because both of them use digital photography and minimum amount of editing techniques. They also share the same social angle, which is nature, and the same type of photography, which is fine art photography. Since Paul Reifer decided to title his picture with the name of the location, I decided to do the same thing, calling this picture Seixo Branco Sunset. While doing this project, I came across some challenges. The first one was finding the right spot to take the picture from. Since there are so many cliffs, every spot that I pictured seemed to be the perfect one. So it took me a while to decide which one I would use as my final piece until the third day that I went there when my cousin showed me a new spot, from which I decided to take my final pictures. Another challenge was finding the perfect angle, as I had to wait until low tide and climb down a steep and slightly dangerous incline to be able to reach a spot where I wanted to take the picture from. The last challenge was finding the perfect natural conditions. One day the water was so calm that there were no waves crashing against the rocks, and it was almost impossible to capture any clouds because the sky was completely clear for almost 2 weeks. Throughout this experience, I learned several things about the photographic process. The first thing I learned was that photography, in this case fine art photography, is more difficult than what it looks like. Many people think that the photographer just walks around the city or natural settings with a camera and takes pictures of what he or she finds interesting. But it is a lot more complex than that. Nowadays, for a picture to look breathtaking, it has to be taken from an extraordinary natural setting with a perfect angle. But sometimes obtaining this implies climbing mountains, spending hours under the sun, or in freezing cold somewhere in the Antarctic. In my case, I had to climb down a steep and rocky incline very carefully so I wouldn't fall in the water. I also learned that there are more and more technological advances, and that for a professional photographer, it is not enough just to take good pictures, but you also have to know how to work with digital equipment and editing software that makes the pictures look even better. I enjoyed this project because it combined two of my favorite hobbies, photography and hiking. I have been going to Seixo Branco for many years, but having to go there with a different purpose than just watching the sunset was exciting. I discovered a lot of new beautiful spots trying to find the perfect angle for the picture, and I watched several beautiful sunsets thanks to this project. I also enjoyed the process of editing pictures, something I wasn't too familiar with beforehand. I found the process of researching professional photographers interesting because I became familiar with Paul Reifer's work, whom I really admire for his campaign that he is creating in order to improve photography by limiting the computer-aided tools used. That is all. I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.